I want to point out that we also see Gabrielle Giffords and Edna Chavez in that video. And Gabrielle Giffords, we know, was a victim of gun violence herself. So we've seen her long journey to healing, and then also her activism has just increased, I think, since her shooting as well. So I think it's always inspiring to see her. Like, every time I see her, I'm just like, listen to her. Yeah. She has like lived it. What she's speaking is true, and I think it's really important to continue to honor her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love their pairing too, specifically because of their age difference. Yeah. I think it's so important that Edna was included in this because she has this great quote where she says, like, you know, they say constantly, the youth is our future, but then whenever teenagers speak up, we're always like, this isn't your problem. Shush, 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 be quiet. But it's like we should be empowering them to be thinking about these things as soon as they can, because developing an opinion, there's no age requirement on that. And the more that we empower them, the better they are for when they turn 18 to make the right decisions.
Right.
After that.
Yeah, especially with that pairing, which is so interesting as well, because Edna's way into being a gun control advocate, whatever, is through immigration and through her own community, while former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords is because she's a victim of it. And Gabrielle Giffords is a gun owner. Yeah. So they both have very interesting perspectives, and the way they talk, and seeing Gabby Giffords kind of say, like, I'm so inspired by how the youth use social media and they connect to people and hold truth to power. I thought was really interesting. And that's also what I liked hearing Patrisse and Jane Fonda talk, because Patrisse is like, I gained out of the UNC tenacity and you never give up. And Jane Fonda's like, from you, I'm learning, like, I never knew. Jane Fonda called her up one day, was like, you need to tell me about, basically educating her on white privilege and what the Black Lives Matter movement is doing. And I think just really cool that these women kind of, from different generations, coming together to learn from each other.
Yeah. I love that Jane Fonda, we know her as an activist, but I love that she was so transparent and being like, I didn't understand this.
Right.
And I think that's so powerful for so many people to be like,
it's gonna be Amy Schumer in 10 years.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing.
I didn't know. Seriously, but it's nice when you don't have the answers to ask questions.
Right.
Like, so important.
I think that is one of the most important things that people are still learning, is that we are all, in a sense, problematic and ignorant, and that the sooner we learn that, then the better off we are improving. Yeah. Like, if we can have these conversations and admit, like, oh, I wasn't aware of this privilege I had, the quicker we could just go to, like, learning it and fixing it and working against it. And I think the closer we are to being not afraid of being wrong, the better off we are to getting closer to being right.
I agree.
Yeah.
And Laverne Cox, I love her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Has continued to be an inspiration for so many people.
Yeah, and it's really interesting hearing her talk about, like, finding that space in the video shows of where, like, we're all just kind of accepted. And I really like hearing her speak and stuff.
Yeah.
And also her talk about, like, women's rights and saying, you know, she's like, I can't get pregnant, but still advocating on behalf of women's, you know, reproductive rights. And I just thought it's really interesting. It's a great piece, guys.
Which, again, encouraging people to be a supporter and advocate for something that doesn't necessarily affect their lives, especially after the Kavanaugh confirmation.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
The abortion issue doesn't affect a lot of people, but it does a lot affect. So I think it's important to show that you can still be an ally even if it's not your battle that you're fighting. It's super important.
Yeah.
Yeah.